Hello everybody and welcome to my place on the internet, where I am your host, Peter aka the MuttonChopGuy, where I help people escape the realm of the mainstream to hide in the wonderful world of the niche by reading manga. Okay. So this has been an artist that I've been wanting to cover for a while now, and the reason why it took me so long to get to this point because I honestly couldn't choose which work to start with, because all of this person's works are equally good and they're pretty much on the same playing field, and once I find something like that, I have a really hard time choosing. However, this is why I have a Discord server, so I have Discord members help me choose, because I have a hard time choosing sometimes. And what is it that I want to cover in this video? Well, I'm pretty sure you can tell by the title and the thumbnail what I am going to be covering, so I'm not going to bore you any further. Let's just jump right into things. We begin where most stories begin, with a place and time.
What? It was pretty funny.
Okay, sorry, that was a bad joke. We open on a bright sunny day in Seto Inland Sea, where we find our main character, 31-year-old Senjo Makoto, staying on Futaiwa Island working on a community building project that he's been contracted for 1 year to complete. He works at a newly built diner called Futaiwa Terrace. Yes, it's a very generic name for a diner, but whatever. We learn that the diner serves lunch made by the local women, using fresh produce from a local farm, and fish caught daily by the local fishermen. And this is where we meet our next character, 37-year-old Chugo Subai. Very quickly we see that Chugo is being very cold and distant with Senjo, with how he tells him to use his smartphone to learn about horned turbanfish. Then states that life on this island is not suitable for a city boy before he leaves. Harsh words, man, harsh words. However, he isn't necessarily wrong, as we have seen this trope with city people moving to a rural area and slowly integrating into town. Just watch Son-in-Law with Pauly Shore, or City Slickers with Billy Crystal, or even Crocodile Dundee? Wait, does that one count? Well anyways, it's then we learn from the women, who I will refer to as the aunties from now on, that Chugo was divorced from a girl after a year of marriage. Dad died while he was young, and his mother is on bed rest. Okay, knowing this now, I can't necessarily blame his attitude, but still. So Senjo waits tables during lunch, explaining what horned turbanfish is to customers, after learning it on his phone, and cleaning up the diner. Afterwards, the aunties volunteers Senjo to take leftovers from lunch to Chugo's at his house. I say volunteers instead of volunteers because, well, he wasn't really given a choice. Just like Senjiro in My Hometown Hospitality. Check it out right over here. So Senjo makes his way to Chugo's home and is instructed to enter the house and head upstairs, where he discovers Chugo's mother lying in her bed. He drops off the food, learning how sharp Chugo's mom is with her inquiry about the aunties, and requested by her to be friends with Chugo. Something I need to point out here is the running theme of a dwindling youth population on the island, but I'll cover that more in detail later. So, Senjo kindly evades the question and heads to leave. Just as he's about to exit, he hears someone ask if someone was here, turns, and sees it's Chugo. Naked!
Hi.
Chaos ensues, and Senjo books it right out of there. Oh my god, look at Chugo! He's so mad! He looks so adorable!
Calm yourself, boy. You are acting hysterical.
Okay, I'll stop gushing over it. While at home, Senjo reflects on the event that transpired, feeling that Chugo truly hates him now, if he hadn't already before. Yet, upon further reflection, he can't help but marvel at the sight of Chugo's body. He then pretty much does what most guys do at this point.
Oh mama, oh mama, oh mama, oh mama, oh mama, oh mama, oh mama.
A few days later, Senjo is serving the local fishermen lunch, as they wanted to see how it was prepared after catching it. Senjo notices that Chugo is eating at the diner, and notes that this is the first time seeing him eating there. To which then Chugo catches Senjo looking at him and gives him a death stare. Noticed by the aunties, they talk about how they would feel the same way if someone would see them naked too, giving away to Senjo that news travels fast on a remote island. I'm surprised that he doesn't know how tight-knit small communities are, but I don't think they talk about stuff like this in a big city like Tokyo. Then again, I've never been there before, so what do I know? Then the fisherman, Murakami, suggests that Senjo has a good enough build for fishing and tells Chugo to teach him as soon as possible, to which he rejects the idea. Of course, the aunties get upset and then try to set Senjo up with a girl to date, being the typical response of older women living in a small town in Japan. That's just the trope that I notice in a lot of manga in general. Anyways, Senjo then spends the night using a dating app, but it's probably more like a hookup app than anything, but sure. He tries to distract himself from Chugo, but to no avail. It keeps coming back like a repeating pattern. The next day, Senjo tries to leave as he planned on going to a public bathhouse for cruising purposes, because of course he does. However, he is approached by Murakami to go fishing, so there goes his plans on cruising. Poor Senjo.
Welcome to my wife.
So they head out into the water to fish, just to find Chugo on his own boat fishing. Then Murakami gets a brilliant idea. Puts Senjo on Chugo's boat and then sails off as fast as he can. Oh no, two big guys on a boat by themselves out in the middle of the sea with no one else around. I wonder what's gonna happen next. So Senjo tries to break the ice with Chugo only to get the cold shoulder, which he eventually asks him if he hates him. Chugo confesses that he doesn't hate him, but comes back with the hard-hitting question about his sexuality. Senjo tries to deflect, but Chugo dispels it by showing his profile on the same dating app that Senjo was using the night prior. Trying to figure out why, Chugo explains that he doesn't want to bother with someone that would end up leaving for the mainland. Senjo tries to offer a friendship as an alternative, and Chugo asks if a fine man like him is okay with just that. Hearing that, Senjo asks him to repeat it, which Chugo tries to dodge it. Chugo admits in the true, and proper in my opinion, tsundere fashion that he likes him, bumping into Senjo and as he turns to say it. The two stare at each other, hearts racing. Then Senjo makes the first move. Then we get a wonderful and rather delightfully wholesome love scene in Gei Komi that I wish there was more of this. My favorite parts are when Chugo is blushing. Look at him, he's just so cute with a bushy face. Senjo is the lucky one here. Afterwards, Senjo apologizes for getting carried away, but tries to amend by offering the friendship like he did earlier. It's then we see Chugo withdraw from the conversation, leaving Senjo shortly after docking the boat and leaving the fish he caught with him. Senjo is left by the pier, drinking coffee, and reflecting on the conversation he had with Chugo, while finding out that the rest of the island knows how poor the fishing lesson was with the lack of fish. Yeah, that's it, they didn't catch any fish. Nothing else happened. Yep, just a boring ass fishing. Okay, I'm sorry. I just couldn't say that with a straight face. During the next few months, Chugo and Senjo appear to be on good terms, mostly because Chugo doesn't want to be forced to be alone with Senjo again, keeping his distance as it were. This kept the aunties happy while they prepare for a local festival in an attempt to revitalize the town with the shrinking population of youth. Senjo leaves the island every now and then for dates that go nowhere for him, usually not staying out overnight in fear of being nagged to gossip about his personal life to the aunties. Totally get you, my guy. Totally get you on that.
Why you pulling me? I'm right.
On his way back to the island, he learns that he may not have thought this idea through and contemplates his next move with only being at the island for 6 months. So comes the day of the festival, and our two main guys are being shrine bearers along with a few guys from outside towns, along with wearing some traditional festival outfits as shrine bearers wear, and some wonderful eye candy for us. The festival commences and they carry the shrine to the ocean, and then get splashed on by a bunch of old guys with buckets as part of the cleansing ceremony. Here, Senjo wants to remember everything about this experience, because he got to see the one thing he never thought he would ever see. Chugo's smile.
God.
Afterwards, they celebrate with sake, or rice wine. Wait, aren't those the same thing? Whatever, it's booze. When offered to Chugo, he at first declines so he can take care of his mother, but then the aunties tell him to go ahead as they can look after her. Okay, a guy who declines drinking so he can take care of his mother probably means he doesn't drink a lot, or even at all. What happens when they get to drink without restraint? Yep, too drunk to walk home by himself. Classic trope. Gee, I wonder what happens from here. So Senjo is assisting Murakami carrying Chugo back home when Murakami decides to bring Chugo to Senjo's place, being that it is closer and Chugo can sleep it off for a couple hours before making it home. Smart idea if you think about it in retrospect. Senjo gets nervous about this, and yes, it's because he knows Chugo isn't going to like it. So they make it to his home and they lie Chugo on the ground. Chugo is then given water when he discovers his location and freaks out like tsunderes do when they are alone in their crush's home. Senjo calms him down so he can sober up and decides to watch the news to see if the festival coverage is on, startling Chugo with the volume in the process. Senjo is on TV when he says that he enjoyed his experience at the festival and wants to return for next year, which Chugo scoffs at that remark, calling it stupid. Senjo rebuttals with telling Chugo how he's been feeling about everything that has happened over the past few months. Chugo interrupts him, telling him to stop saying strange things, and then tries to run away, not wanting to be alone with him anymore. Senjo is able to stop him by embracing him from behind, then telling Chugo that he can't help himself with his feelings, with his attempts to let go. Making it one of the most emotional moments of the story, Chugo then goes about his thoughts, confessing his fears that his feelings would grow if he spent more time with Senjo, realizing now that even the thought of him wanting to stay was enough for him to give it a try as well. Then we get the best form of narrative payoff for both of these characters that Gei Komi can offer. Yes! Yes! And what's so great about this scene is how wholesome it feels, with the best part still being Chugo's blushing face. Just look at it, it's so cute!
Stop it. Get some help.
The next morning, Chugo steps outside to leave when Senjo wakes up to see him gone. He quickly chases after him to ask why he left so soon. Chugo then instructs Senjo to follow him to a pier, looking over the ocean. It's here that Chugo asks Senjo if he truly thought things through about his plans after his contract expires. Confessing that he hasn't thought it all the way through, Senjo expresses interest in becoming a fisherman, only for us to see how Chugo feels about that. Blushy blushy!
What is wrong with you?
Chugo warns him that life on this island is difficult for people like them, only for Senjo to ask him a simple question. Does it have to be? He then tells Chugo that if he's lived there as long as he has, then he can live there if Chugo will have him. Resolved as well, Chugo tells him to do whatever he wants, but asks only one request: to call him by his first name when they are only alone. And Senjo accepts, by calling him by his first name.
That was cute. I liked that. I liked that a lot.
Okay, so this is one of the more interesting stories you will find in the Gei Komi genre because it's simply super wholesome. While yes, there are some steamy parts in this story, it's nothing super hardcore or kinky, even though there's nothing wrong with that in the stories. It's just nice not to have to read some crazy scary content warning before reading a story altogether. And it's also nice to see something super sweet from beginning to end, especially how nihilistic mainstream media has been for the past few years. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I love when steamy scenes are used for narrative payoff, and this story used it to the best degree, in my opinion. However, I'll let you come to your own conclusions on that. That aside, the plot was actually well thought out, and put together with how it had social issues the island was facing around the main part of Senjo and Chugo's relationship, and being a point of tension within the conflict. Like I said in the last segment, a running conversation piece is the shrinking population on the island. This is a current social issue topic going on in Japan, as well as other parts of the world, so it's interesting to see that this is something these two overhear a lot from the senior community. But at least they're trying things out to help with the issue, like the festival. There's also the part where the aunties want to set up Senju with the girl, which to be fair, this is a trope as old as tropes themselves. You definitely see this proliferated in old 70s movies, and even going into the 80s. Okay, so can we talk about our two main guys now? I love these two. They're so adorable and cute that I just melt, swooning over the fluff. Chugo is what I like to see out of a tsundere, because it's not overbearing, doesn't over-exaggerate his feelings with his behavior, and doesn't say baka every other word. Trust me, that is like one of the most annoying things I hear in anime is just hearing that word repeated over and over by the same person. Can we please stop doing that?
Right, yeah, got it.
This is what I honestly feel how a male tsundere would properly act. Sure, this follows the same tropes for a tsundere character, but it's grounded and it's handled in ways that I can appreciate with how the character feels and be happy when they finally express them properly. Plus, he's just so cute when he's blushing. Just look how cute he is.
Oh, no, stop it. Just stop.
Okay, let's talk about Senjo. He's the classic city boy archetype, where he moves to a rural place and tries to integrate into the local community, which makes sense that he's on contract to live there for a year to help with the community. I don't know why I had to do it that way, but it's just, yeah. When he's on the island, he's always willing to help out and learns how small communities operate, especially with how fast news can travel. What I like about Senjo is how he takes the chance with Jugo, even when he tries to let him go. It only reinforces his feeling towards Jugo with each passing day, and I think that's so sweet. I also love how he took the chance and expressed his feelings to Jugo in the first place, as I feel the same way that Noxzema Jackson feels at the end of To Wong Fu.
You gotta take chances, because you never know, you know what I mean?
Overall, this is a really great story with some well-rounded character who have a great supporting cast of characters who seem more oblivious about these two than one would think, but it still comes off sweet. I honestly hope more mangaka take chances in writing stuff like this, as this is what I think the genre needs more of. Don't get me wrong, I love my kinky stuff just as much as the next person of cultural tastes that are refined. But we definitely need some more of the wholesome love stories that showcases men of these statures. This artist has to be up on many people's pedestals as their favorite, and I can definitely see why they do. This art is so well done that I just love how these characters look. Like, damn, look at that!
My eyes are ejaculating!
Okay, gushy stuff aside, the character designs on everyone is fantastic. I love how the aunties and the fishermen look distinct from the main characters and how expressive they are. Plus, seeing all the sweet eye candy in the festival scenes with some of the best body types I enjoy seeing. Just, The artist did a fantastic job coming up with a style that is very expressive, yet detailed to satisfy anyone of this genre. If you haven't seen any of SUV's work, or SUV's, I don't know how to say this person's name, I'm just gonna go with SUV because I butcher names as it is. But yeah, if you haven't seen any of SUV's work, then definitely go check them out on Instagram, or Twitter if you want to use that hellscape. And I think Pixa Fanbox? I'm not entirely sure on that one. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. There isn't much more I can say about the art that is obvious to any viewer, so why should I continue? However, I would love to hear what you think about it, so please comment it down below. Overall, this is a very wholesome story with a well-crafted plot to develop the characters that anyone can get invested into. The character archetypes that we have seen dozens of times are done here with the proper care that makes these characters truly shine on their own. The mangaka was able to showcase their skills in storytelling as well as storyboarding with their art, and it makes for a truly one-of-a-kind experience with a wide appeal. And that is it. That is all for this video. I certainly hope you guys enjoy what I had to say in my review of this particular work. I absolutely love this stuff. I definitely want to hear what you guys think about it. Please do not hesitate to comment that down below. Of course, going through the normal shill stuff. If you guys want to help me out in any way, the best way to do that is to like this video, comment on this video, and subscribe to my channel. Trust me, it's absolutely for free and it helps me out in the algorithm. Please help me out here, because YouTube is taking a dump on me.
Ew, that's gross!
If you also want to help me out in other ways, you have the wonderful opportunity to donate to me at my Ko-Fi, which you'll find the link to that in the description below. Do not hesitate to do so if you feel so inclined. No obligation, it would just help me out a whole lot. And of course, the last bit, if you have anything of recommendations that involve the Bara, Gei Komi, or men's love genre tags, please do not hesitate to drop it down in the comment section below, as that will also help me a whole lot, because I need things to review, especially in the video game department, because I feel like I'm running out. But yep, thank you to everybody who's watched so far. Thank you to so much people who have continually keep coming back for these videos, and I certainly hope to see you guys all in the next one. Bye.